industrial water. Many millions of gallons of unused industrial water. To show that a better beneficial use for that unused industrial water and use it for domestic, I think is going to be quite frankly an easy case. People can challenge us. What we were told by the people at bnrc today is challengers have to have a stake in it. They have to have a water right or something else, some reason to have a stake in it. Well, we vetted the process with our customers. We've also talked to downstream users. For example, the Ulands that own the Gardner Ditch, and we've told them about our grant application. They're all for us because they know that we have enough water to do this. But you're exactly right. It's not a sure thing. It's not easy. Not a slam dunk. We have to go through the process, and this will be something that we have not done before. So you're absolutely right on every one of your comments. But we feel it's worth doing, and actually we're going to start the process probably this month. Now, what the DNRC told us is that we can go through the process, and then if we can back out of it anytime. We don't do that. Now, the second part of the process is people are worried about if we don't use Basin Creek, we'll lose that water right. And that's something that we really want to make sure that we don't do. The process to reserve our water rights for Basin Creek is much the same. In this case, we use a 606 form instead of an 85402 form, but the process is the same. Length of time is about the same. It's about a 6-month process. We go through the same people in Helena to get either one of them done. But the difference is we would reserve Basin Creek for future use. We could do a couple of things based on input from Fish, Wildlife, and Parks and the general public. We could run the water down Basin Creek if that's what people wanted, if they thought that was a good thing. If Fish, Wildlife, and Parks wanted that Basin Creek in-stream flow in Basin Creek, we could do that. We could also run the water on the Whitehall side of the system down Fish Creek. We would take input from Fish, Wildlife, and Parks and the public and see which way it's most beneficial to the public to run that water. Or we could do a combination of both. We could run some water down Basin Creek and some water down Fish Creek. We could say it's in-stream flow. We'd have to do the change. But what we would do is we would reserve our water rights, so it would always be ours. We can cancel that process at any time. It's a 10-year 10-year reserve, and you can get that reserve anytime you want. Every 10 years you can continue to reserve that forever. So we think either one of those is workable.
Even senior water rights on Basin. When in December, the agricultural community suggested that maybe the water plan if it was starting to use this water for resident calls. Can you comment on that?
Sure. Yeah, I'd be glad to. We met with a lot of those people as well. Butte Silver Bowl is junior water right on Fish Creek system. We're not number one. That's one of the reasons, quite frankly, that Silver Lake water stands out above Basin Creek. Is most of our water right on Basin Creek is junior. It's not senior like we have on Silver Lake. We met with those people. We met with the senior water right holder. We've been working with this individual for many, many years. Generally speaking, well, not generally speaking, we have not been in conflict with that senior water right user ever. His water right is an irrigation water right. He doesn't need it in the winter. What we do is we use our secondary, our junior water right to fill our reservoir in the winter. And then when he calls for the water in the summer, we divert it over to him in the summer so he has it for irrigation. Our reservoir is full and we operate off a full reservoir. That's the beauty of having storage which a lot of people don't have. We've never been in conflict before. We worked very well together. In fact, a few months ago when we met, we shook hands and agreed that we're going to continue to work just like that forever. They really don't need the water in Fish Creek in the wintertime. But if they want it, we'll give it to them. If Basin Creek is in reserve, that's fine with us.
What about Fish Creek business on Basin Creek? If the public and fish wildlife department, and we're also calling for irrigation. How would you?
Well, we do have other storage rights in Basin Creek. We will continue to keep a full pool in Basin Creek through the winter months and release it during the summer when it's needed. Just trying to find out the question. Okay. 25, did I hear? Number 9. What are the current cost estimates required to upgrade the Silver Lake system? The cost estimates are $15 million for capital improvements. In our aquatics grant, we also asked for $5 million for O&M. We've had a process for many years since we acquired the Silver Lake system of buying into the system. For example, when Northwestern Energy bought into the system and asked for water for us, they had to buy into the system with a certain amount of money, and then they have to pay O&M costs. We would ask in our aquatics grant pretty much the same thing, state of Montana. They would have to buy into the system because, as I mentioned before, there was a considerable amount of infrastructure improvements in the 90s. And of course, over the years, there's a lot of money put into these structures. To try to recreate our Silver Lake system now, I'm sure will cost billions. It's worth a lot of money. And we think that anybody new that comes in the system has to buy in and also offer up operation and maintenance costs. But it's about $15 million upfront costs that we expect to spend on that, and about $5 million in O&M costs. And yes, we do have a schedule of maintenance and upgrades to the system, and that's also in that FTP site in the master plan. Number 11, how much of the Silver Lake system operation and maintenance upgrades would ratepayers of Butte be liable for? The answer to that question is none. The water services agreement that we have with our customers say that they're responsible for operation and maintenance costs. Butte Silver Bow is the owner of the system. We're not responsible for those operation and maintenance costs. Number 12, are we using Basin Creek? Oh, I'm sorry.
That's if you got all the money from all the bonds you're asking for.
No, the water services agreements are in place whether we get the money or not. There is nothing in the court order where we took over the system, and there's nothing in the water service agreements that requires Butte Silver Bow to maintain that system. It's all O&M by the customers, and we're not a customer. We're on owner. Are we now using Basin Creek? Yes, we are. The afternoon of April 23rd, we started to use water out of the Basin Creek system. Our daily flow rates were getting such that we are starting to see pressure losses in the south side of the system. To answer another question that's on here, Basin Creek mostly serves the flat, the south part of town. So we started, it takes us over a day or two to actually begin using the Basin Creek system. We have to make sure that we close some valves, open some valves. We have to do it very slowly so that we don't blow up pipelines and things of that nature. We also have to adjust our pressure relief valves to make sure that the system operates correctly. So it usually takes 1 or 2 days to turn that system on. We started April 23rd. We finished April 24th. We received our violation letter. That's the next question. Have we received violation letter from DEQ enforcement. Yes, we received that letter on the 24th.